So in today's video, I'd like to talk about servers, file servers. I use freenas, or now known as truenas. Uh, my current setup that I have two freenas servers. Actually, one of them's freenas, the other one's truenas because the backup server was made more recently. Anyway, so what ended up happening was I built the backup server with these cheap Western Digital blue drives. And what had happened was, and I should have known better than to do this, but I'm warning you if you don't know this information. Um, Basically, because it was my backup server, I didn't really care as much, so I used the cheapest drives possible, and I put it together in such a way that it was going to be as low cost as possible. And so what happened was. I started getting errors saying that one drive just went offline, and then another one went offline probably within a couple days of the first one, and everything just started cascading from there. So here's what happened. Basically, what you should never do is, if you build any type of RAID array, if you build any type of server, any backup server, primary server, whatever it may be, a good rule of thumb is to never use the same model, the same production run, the same hard drive throughout your array. And the reason is that if there is, for whatever reason, if there's any type of manufacturing problem, anything that would affect one drive over time will affect all the drives over time. So what do I mean by that? Basically, if you had one drive from Western Digital, and then you had another one from Seagate, and then you had another one from whatever brand out there, or if you had one from one model, and say that you had a blue drive, and then you had a purple drive, and then you had a red drive. They're all different models, so they're going to come from different production runs. So if there's any issue with one drive, then just that one drive would fail. You wouldn't have this cascading effect. And I had known about this for a long time, and I just kind of ignored it because it was my backup server. Well, I just had, there's only 3 here right now, but I actually had 4 or 5 drives fail in succession of each other within the space of less than a week, and didn't have any time to get replacement drives and slap them in there to keep everything going. Now it's okay because it was my backup server, but this just stands to prove that you cannot put the same model of drives, or at least the cheapest of the cheap drives, in your RAIDs. So you really want to mix and match. You want to have different drives, not necessarily different spec. You would like to have them to all be the same spec. If they're all 7200 RPM and they've got X amount of read-write speed, you want them all to be consistent or the same if possible, but you want to have from different manufacturers, or from different models, or from different production runs, that sort of thing. So this video just stands as a public service announcement that when you build your arrays, if you're going to go super duper cheap like I did for this backup system, you got to mix and match brands and models. I just can't hammer that home enough. And it's not even for my instance, it wasn't that I had any data loss, because I didn't, because everything was still on the primary, but it defeated the purpose of having the backup server. The problem is that it was probably anywhere between $50 and $75. I can't remember exactly how much these drives were at the time, but I have to replace all 5 drives now with different drives, and I'm going to get slightly better drives. I'm not going to spend over $80 a piece, but they're going to be from different manufacturers and different models and different production runs. So I've got a couple that I'm gonna get 2 from Seagate, and then I'm gonna get 2 from another brand, and then I already got a couple from Western Digital. I got a red drive in there now. And some people could say, oh, we'll just get all red drives, they're made for NAS. this is true, but again, if you bought a stack of red drives, you'd still could run into the issue where if there was a manufacturing defect, or there was just something inherent about the drive that once one failed, they all cascaded like this. It can happen the same. It doesn't matter if a drive is meant for a specific task or not. You could say, oh well, these aren't made for raids, and it's like, yeah, I get that, you're right, but also manufacturing defects and problems can happen to any drive, no matter who makes it. If it's made in this world, it will fail someday, and it might fail, a million years from now, or it might happen in this case. This is probably less than a year that this stuff happens. So keep that in mind when you're building these systems, to mix and match as best you can, even if it's from different brand. Encourage that it's from different brands and different models. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.